Welcome back. This is part 2 of our Monday manifestation reading. We're going to do some tea leaves, but I'm going to read the remainder of the cards first. Keep asking your questions to the tea. I love a tea reading to clarify over the cards because it gives us more of a timeline. It can tell me within the next few days, weeks, months, and clarify a little bit more on who we're talking about and the situation at hand. So let's clarify. We just went over our what's at hand card, which was the King of Cups. So we do have a masculine here, or somebody who represents as the masculine energy that is stepping into this emotional balance, right? They're coming back into their control, even though the tides, the ebb and flow has been a little chaotic and hectic. We did go through a heartache, a heartbreak, but we are seeing the optimistic viewpoint through this, forgiving our partner or ourselves, getting rid of that negative self-talk, and releasing some pain here. We're moving forward. There is like a recovery energy here. A very empathetic king coming back into that balance and control. So even though we do have the masculine energy stepping into this, and we did recognize that both parties, the masculine and the feminine, were walking their own path. Notice how they're going into two opposite directions. And both parties did find this exciting freedom and inspiration. They recognize, especially the feminine here, that she could create her own vision of her reality by just dreaming and using her imagination and wielding that power. We have the star energy here. I'm going to cover some things. So the star energy talks about a wish fulfillment in the past. We came to this calming, hopeful state. We had a lot of faith. We were recognizing our purpose. There was this renewal energy to it. So maybe somebody or both parties had this deep spiritual connection and a deep spiritual awakening. There was good fortune, and it was a good omen to just come into connection with one another. It was a very rejuvenating energy. And both cups here, both cups are overflowing with emotion. So both parties did feel very in tune with one another. We were very connected here. The number 17 could be relevant. It boils down to an 8, which is all about power and success. So we do see that the feminine is depicted here alone. So again, both parties went their separate ways, and then we both came into this renewal energy of finding ourselves, tapping back into our power and recognizing that you can succeed and manifest whatever it is that you desire. But this separation was necessary in order to find this power and recognition of the purpose through this transition. Okay, so then for our present position, to clarify over the Tower in reverse, we have Temperance. So it's all about patient in the current moment. I know that's not what you want to hear, but we're obviously both in transition still. We're both learning these life lessons. One party is having a little bit more of a hectic time. It could be my viewers here, since we've got this Tower happening. So there's definitely a dark night of the soul happening, but I do like that the Tower is in reversal because we're recognizing that it is for a purpose, this personal transformation, right? There is still some fear of change. And I know that that comes with delays, right? This is a stormy time, and we're dealing with some suffering still, but you are being guided through this, right? Look at the angel. She's got those 2 cups again. So the angel represents to me that you're being guided through this, through your higher power. There is a path ahead. I just want to show you guys what we had here in the previous reading. Notice how this masculine is going on a journey. Look at this terrain. It's very similar to this. And yes, there is a rough road ahead, but notice the clear path forward. Recognize that that same path is here, right? So we've got that clear path forward towards the horizon, towards the beautiful sunlight and the mountain range, which represents success. Of course, it does take some energy, some time, and some effort to climb that mountain up towards the sunlight, but the sun is representing all of that success and the wish being fulfilled, the manifestations coming into tangible reality. So we do have these positive insights throughout the reading, even though it can look a little doom and gloom if you just look at the forefront of the cards. But I love this temperance energy. It's just reminding you to be patient. You're finding yourself, you're finding meaning in this transition, you're finding your purpose. Potentially, you have been humbled and you are forced to become a little bit more sensible and to finding your path or the reason for all of this change. But I promise that it's for a good reason. And if you had a specific question about why this patience needed to come in, it's because you're meant to find this moderation, to find the harmony. And it is a yes from the universe. The temperance is a yes. Ruled by Sagittarius or any of the fire signs. The number 14 could be relevant, and that does reduce to 5. Again, 5 is a number about change and options. So, you could choose to continue to suffer and delay, or you could choose to take this path, even though it is a harder path. But in my opinion, that challenge is well worth it. Okay, let's see what else we've got going on. Okay, so to clarify over that rough road and finding our own internal power for the future placement or what's going on in the soul space, we do have the number 7, which is lucky, even though the 7 of Swords isn't the luckiest of cards, but it is all about, even though you lose control, you are regaining it. It's just through choices and different responsibilities. It is a card where it depicts a man holding many swords, 5 swords to be exact, which is the challenge, right? You're holding on to this challenge energy. But if he looks behind, there's still 2 swords standing. So swords are mental clarity. You still have 2 options or 2 forms of insight. Maybe it's 2 different people who gave you advice or 2 different paths to take. And either path, no matter which one you decide on, does have a positive outcome. But it would be wise to not carry all of the stresses and the weight of those 5 swords that you currently have right now. It could represent some kind of deception that happens, which we did have this 3 of Swords in the beginning of our reading for what's at hand. So maybe somebody still hasn't recovered fully in our future placement from this pain of whatever heartache came about in our recent past, or what's over, so in our recent past, we were actually doing quite well. There was a separation, but that separation was needed for both parties. So I'm not quite sure. Depends on the collective, since there's a larger collective. Some of you guys may have been hurt or betrayed or deceived early on prior to recognizing that that was needed. Or maybe you were on a path in your recent past where you were finally finding yourselves, and then you came into this heartache and pain here through some kind of deception or betrayal. It could also be the energy of getting away with something, or maybe somebody was acting strategically or tricky, because we did have this this tower, and the magician talks in reversal, talks about some kind of manipulation or narcissism. So just to be mindful, since this is in our future placement, if it's talking about somebody else, whether that's your lover or somebody in the workplace, because we did say in our part 1 that this was for work and love, that just make sure that we're prepared properly. We're not taking any insecurities with us on this journey. We're leaving that lack of confidence behind. We are going to be mindful and keep an open eye with your intuition, not to be blinded or confused through any of that fog. So you'll be able to recognize if you're dealing with a narcissist or any kind of deception again, and somebody getting away with something. Because Seven of Swords could also talk about like stealing energy, like this guy is sneakily walking away with the 5 swords, but they're heavy to carry. It's a heavy burden to carry, and that's why he has to leave 2 behind. That's if it's that energy. It could also be a heavy responsibility that somebody is taking on, and recognizing that the 2 other choices there may be the better plan. So take that however it resonates, but through losing, we regain, right? So maybe we have to let go of something. There is a lot of air energy here. So to let things move and to flow properly, don't hold on to any stagnancy. If this is the direction it's moving in, just be mindful, keep your intuition and your third eye open. And even though that this seems to be a very rough road with this Dark Night of the Soul and the Tower, this path is necessary. It's required for your journey. Okay. Then we had an extra one pop out, which I love. The Judgment. It is in the reversal. So it's ruled by the number 20, which reduces to a 2, which is all about balance and harmony again. It could be a balancing of these polarities. So since it's in reversal, we're obviously still feeling imbalanced in our future position. Somebody's still doubting themselves. There's like this lack of self-awareness. So it's like, I'm really being told to warn you guys about keeping an open mind, keeping an open eye to any self-loathing, any inner critic that you've been dealing with, but also external punishment or a destructive behavior from an outside party. Don't ignore this call from the universe, really. It's like the angel is blowing its trumpet, and it's letting you know, hey, see how there's the crossed flag? Like this is something to be mindful of. If it was in the upright position, there's a rebirth here and there's forgiveness. But right now, since we've got a lot of reversals, I'm just feeling like maybe you shouldn't forgive somebody if they're coming back in with any trickery or narcissistic tendencies. So just be mindful of that, because that's not your true person if they're going to be coming in with lies and any tomfoolery, right? Maybe the name Tom could have some kind of meaning, manipulative Tom. I don't know. But yeah, don't let that put you down. Don't let those manipulations bring those insecurities into you. You might have to take this road alone, and that's okay. All right, let's see what the tea has to say. Last opportunity to ask your questions. Last sip for good luck. I'm going to empty out the last bit of tea leaves. Where's my spoon when I need it? Whoop. All right, we can do it this way. I'm still feeling like, all right, somebody is really stuck. These tea leaves do not want to come out today. That's giving me a very stuck energy. Somebody's still stuck in this negative self-talk or not releasing this pain, not releasing the lack of forgiveness. Okay, we're good. We've got enough here. It was a messy situation, huh? Let me put this off to the side. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. What does the collective need to know? I just like to give it a minute so any of the extra liquid drips on out of there and the tea leaves take their place. Yeah, good reading today. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, we have some Sagittarius energy, Scorpio, Libra, Leo, Cancer. What else? Did some of these come up on the cards? Yeah, we had a Libra come up with this heartache. And then what else was on here? I thought I saw somebody else. A lot of Aquarius energy too. But that's not showing up here. Nope. All right. Let's see if I see anything else. Okay, so we're very centered over the star placement. So it does tell me that there is some kind of wish that was granted here. Maybe it doesn't feel like it just yet, but let's see. Let's look a little deeper into the reading. I'm getting like little chili peppers. There's a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 chili peppers. Somebody likes the red hot chili peppers? I don't know. What else? And a sponge? Like somebody's like absorbing something. It could be negative energy, positive energy, or information. But just be mindful if you are like an empath that's giving me like you can draw in other people's emotions. So be mindful if they're not positive. Okay, let's keep going, and then I'll see what else we've got. All right. Woo. Let's start here. So there was definitely a separation. You're still in separation. I feel like somebody may be cutting off that separation in a week. Maybe that's what this... Yeah, we did have that wish here with the star energy. Cut through the fog of confusion with the power of discernment was in our present placement. And so within a week could be the present time. So if somebody cuts off this separation, and that was the narcissist, be mindful. I'm just seeing if there's anything else under here under this separation. This does impede onto your successes in business. So if it is negative energy, do not let them block your forward progress up that mountain, right? Even though it's a rough road, I know it's lonely to do it by yourself. If they're bringing in negative energy or the weight, like emotional weight of those heavy swords and the challenge of the five, the number 5, then we do not want to bring those challenges forward onto our path up that mountain. Okay. Yeah, I see like this little Buddha. You're meant to, through this once they cut off that separation, they come back. You're meant to meditate on it a little bit. You're meant to really go inward and see if that's what you want to do. Okay. So we're seeing progress towards our goals and manifestations into the new year. I don't think you're going to see anything tangible until January, February. I like this. We've got a little snake. Or possibly a centipede. Maybe snakes or centipedes have something to do with you. Snake energy. So I'm going to just call it how it is in either direction. If we do have the snake slithering down in towards the base of the cup from the mountain range, if you decide to bring in that person who could deceive you, this is to be mindful of that snake energy. If they trail in on the path with you, be mindful because they could deceive you again. Snakes are usually not to be trusted, right? On the other end of the spectrum, I will say that snakes also come with a wisdom to them, right? They are all about rebirth and shedding the old and renewing this new skin. So maybe it's like your skin got harder and it can take some more things. Like, right, those swords can't pierce through as easily, but just be mindful of this snake energy. Okay, I love that into the end of January, February, we are really starting to make headway towards our goals. So the fire's been lit under our butts. I'm seeing some guy here, maybe a pilot, or he's sitting on some kind of chair, like maybe there's like a little drone over him, or he's flying. But it's letting me know that like you're in the driver's seat, you're steering, and you're steering forward, which is really great. And that energy is going to go through for the next couple of months. So I like this, that you're stepping into the driver's seat. Guys, be careful though, because this snake has also crossed into this progress once again. It's like right before that separation, there was no snake energy. And then as soon as that separation was cut and that person comes back, there could be some deception, some lies, something to be wary about. It does fade out towards February or the end of February, but be mindful, especially January, beginning of February. I see some like, you know, the claw in a claw machine? It's like the snake's controlling this claw hand, and it's stemming in towards the fig placement. And fig is all about planting the seeds of growth and ideas. It could literally be impregnation and, you know, soon to be birth of something, which you are very fertile right now. And that could be on a mental idea note, or it could be physically literal. If you're the feminines, you could be fertile right now, or the seeds could have already been planted. But I'm really getting the sense that these are seeds on your journey towards success, not relating towards pregnancy. But be mindful, because that snake's claw hand does cross over, and it's almost, you know, like the claw hand. It's like they're picking up something of yours, like they're taking your ideas, your seeds that you've planted. I don't like that energy. So be mindful of that. You have two important either family matters or financial matters. Maybe it could be a family financial matter, but you got two important ones. Two things to note that are major at the end of January or into February. Yeah. I see a little wizard too. It's like a younger boy with one of those dunce hats on, or a wizard hat. But he is making his way out of this problematic situation financially or in family stuff, towards progressing into a higher state of being. Whatever this financial or family matter is, it does make you a better person, right? It does teach you how to grow, whether that's mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. You are trying to better yourself from this situation. There's a gentleman here smoking a pipe, and it's like one of those old school pipes. And he's looking away from the church. He's looking away from spiritual faith or enlightenment, and he's looking at the financial situations or the family matters. It might be a very practical man or masculine energy. I mean, honestly, it's just somebody with short brunette hair, so it could be masculine or feminine, and they are smoking a pipe. But we did have a card that said just be mindful not to get confused with mental fog. So be mindful, because the smoke reminds me of mental fog. They're standing on a rock too. So it's like you're in a, what's that saying? In a rock, in between a rock and a hard place. There's not much happening underneath the church, just some fairy dust sprinkled throughout January, February. So it's like you're not fully being faithful or guided by your intuition. You're just being very practical about this rather than faithful. There's, you know, I'll mention it, but it's nothing huge. There is a new start here, but I see only 2 major leaves and they are separated. So I feel like this could represent, because this is the heart key, so it could represent the 2 parties here. If we're speaking about the lovers separating and going on their different journeys, and then both, you know, beginning that journey alone. There is a smaller leaf in the middle, so maybe some of you may have the option to come together, but I'm really feeling like the separation is needed right now. There's some kind of social gathering happening in January, February, and there's a paper plane. It reminds me of when we were kids and we'd like throw the notes in class with a paper plane. And the paper plane is headed towards the heart space. So we may have a new opportunity, somebody new coming into our heart space from this social gathering that you'll be going to in January, February. I see a shoe too. It's like putting on a new shoe, or like maybe getting somebody else's perspective from wearing their shoes. Because I see like 2 different shoes actually. A man's shoe and a woman's shoe. Yeah, and they're walking in different directions again. So that's really giving me that these 2 parties are going separate ways. If it's the lover, if it's not a new lover, or maybe it is the new lover that comes in with some challenges, not too many, but if you're bringing back that narcissist or deceptive person, then they are bringing in some kind of conflict or difference of opinion here. And there's one major issue where you're going to have to choose a road, choose a path, that way or this way. But it's going to be a major thing that comes to a head, and you're going to have to choose which path. The second option, the first option leads to nothing. The second option leads to the love letter or some kind of note or message coming through of it taking a more positive route. Maybe you're going to have 2 suitors. 3303 on the clock. I love 333. We've got a log bridging from the heart letter and the full moon, which does tell me that if you follow the right path, it will get easier for you with this new lover. That bridge opens up into the heart space, which into the full moon from the heart space, which is like, it started as smaller, maybe flirtations and messages back and forth, into a full-blown love affair. And it's going to make you like blush. There's like leaves on the cheeks of the full moon. She's got her eyes closed like, There's a seed that's planted there, a new beginning for sure in love, if you take the right path with the right person. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm getting 2 readings now though, because this crosses back over into the separation. When that separation ends, if it's not the narcissist, if it's somebody who you guys needed to take your time, do some self-discovery, heal, and they actually did the healing, then you could be, some people within the collective could be getting back with their old lover. Wow, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that could be the challenge. The 5 of swords that he was carrying. There's 5 different collections of leaves crossing in between that separation and this new love affair happening. So just be mindful that there could be challenges with that, but if it's healthy, use your discernment. Maybe it's good to give it a new beginning. There is a new beginning here with the sun. We don't have much social success or recognition coming in with the crescent moon, but it is there. It's sprinkled in. Maybe they're finally recognizing that they want this new beginning with you. A little bit of Mars energy, which just means, yes, it could mean conflict, but it could also mean action, because we have like one major leaf right on the middle. So somebody is taking action. Let's see, I've got a, oh, where's my spoon when I need it? Okay. There is a journey that needs to be made for sure. And it's like the arrow is going straight up through Mercury, which is all about a journey. So this path is like given to you, right? You know, the line is drawn in the sand. You do have a wish being fulfilled here, though. We have star energy again. Something does have to be lost in order for something new to be gained, or we have to release something. Maybe it's pain, ego, or an old lover in order to get a new lover, something. But when you release this is when that wish is fulfilled. We have Venus energy coming up. It's light, letting me know that it's not, you know, within the it's going to take a few months to flourish, but it is there. And we do have Clover energy. So this was all good luck, even though it didn't seem to be. We have 3 major seeds on the 4-leaf clover on the outside of it. So it seems to be that you don't really feel that luck internally, but you will see it externally eventually in time. And definitely an important decision needs to be made. Yeah. So we've got a journey, we've got an important decision, and you definitely have to release something in order for this new love and success in business and romance to come in. All right, guys, so that's it for you. That's what I got. My name is Kat. This was Pure Premonitions, and like, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.